I don't know why the font on my computer screen is like freaking a US cellular old person's cell phone. Like this shit is super large. I appreciate it in my elder years because I can actually see it without glasses on. So that's helpful. But I don't know when I ever changed it. I don't remember ever doing so. Did it do it on its own and just realized I need it? Anyways, hey, what it do, man? Oh my God, I am live on After Prison Show on the YouTube side of things, folks. It's been so long since I've done a live stream over here. I can't even remember the last one that I did, and I'm nervous. I need to have a moment of clarity and truth with you guys. I don't live stream here. I hadn't live streamed here for a good little while. And if you don't know, I have and had been live streaming on Twitch, After Prison Show on Twitch. And those streams don't really garner a whole lot of people that come in there, but I'm comfortable in that setting. And I think to myself, why was I ever really, why did I get away from live streaming on the YouTube side? And I feel like that was because on here, I got to be on my freaking A game. Like, I can't miss a step. And there's a lot of days when I'm very worried that I'm not going to be able to do that. But today, for whatever reason, I feel like I hopefully will live up to the expectations that I've set for myself. A lot of times unrealistic. But short of it is, I think we can have a good live stream. Please don't let this flop. Hey, shout out to everybody taking the time to come up in here. Relock, I see you. You was on my other live stream earlier on Joe Does Stuff when I was sitting in a Home Depot parking lot panhandling people for loose change. Folks, your boy has crashed out to the fullest, and I'm happy to be here. This person says it's time to retire, buddy. Well, essentially, I guess I kind of have, and I've moved on to, trying to do construction, and that's been a roller coaster as well. But I still enjoy creating the content, and this was probably the greatest thing that I ever created right here. The entire prison genre, how I, helped to create that. But it's a difficult thing to walk away from. I do realize that I've done a lot of missteps in the social media realm, and I don't, regret that anymore. I used to really be salty and sour about that. Like, gosh, almighty shucks, I screwed it all up. But if I didn't do but one thing right, I showed people a lot of what not to do. So I am proud of that. Anyways, hey, thank y'all for taking the time to rock with me on this. Who's going to make me crash out today? Listen, there is a reason why I'm doing this live, because there's a lot of things that I want to be able to share video-wise. I haven't been able to do so because I am working so much. I'm literally just getting in. It's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm literally just getting in from work today. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I got there at 9:30 today. Didn't get onto the job site till 10 o'clock, and then I left twice. Crazy damn thing. But I'm just getting in, and there's a lot of stories that I want to share with you guys. I've been wanting to address a lot of things. I've even filmed some videos. Haven't had a chance to edit them, so I figured why not do it live? Let's just shoot the shit. We can AMA a little bit. We can ASMR. We can ATM. Forgive me. I've been going a little hard in the paint sometimes. It's wild because I did a live stream earlier, and I was, pretty happy-go-lucky, my normal crashing out, borderline, bipolar self. And that always gets mixed up. That's the way that I've always been, I guess, but that always gets mixed up with an ego. And I'll be the first to tell you, Joe don't got no ego no more. I learned. I got, taken down quite a few notches to know that. Power Toys asked, what did Gene do? That's not for over here. We got to keep that on the DL. We don't need that drama over here. We're going to act like that's not taking place. Anyways, yeah, so welcome. It's hump day, as a matter of fact. And there's two big stories that I want to talk with you guys about today. So again, I want to do this live. Obviously, the first one, I'm super late to the party on this. I really wanted to get ahead of this. I'm not able to get ahead of anything these days. Diddy just getting transferred to Fort Dix, and then the story coming out that Diddy was caught drinking in prison. Did you guys hear about this? What is Diddy doing? Hey, this ain't how you, hey, man, let me tell you something. Diddy just recently got sentenced. He got the 4-piece. He beat the RICO. He beat the PEX extender trafficking situation. And you get 4 years. You get blessed with 4 years. You write a letter to the judge asking for leniency and mercy and potentially release. The judge don't go for that. The judge gives you the 4-piece. And then you get blessed again. Not just with the sentencing, but you get blessed to go to Fort Dix. That's the place that you wanted to go to. I don't know if you wanted to go there because of the play on words. Fort Dix. Maybe there's a lot of them there. Clearly there are. But anyways, he goes there, because they have an RDAP program, a residential drug abuse program, where you can shave an additional year off of your sentence. And what does Diddy do immediately upon getting to Fort Dix? He throws them a little Diddy party, or maybe the prisoners threw it for him. Diddy got caught drinking the prison wine immediately upon getting to prison. Yo, that's enough to get you kicked up off of there. Because, you see, I don't even think Diddy's at a low. He might be at a camp, but he's definitely at a low if he's not at a camp. Mike with the dono right there. I still watch your $1 versus $10 prison meal video. It's become like a cult classic for me. Man, Mike, shout out to you, man. To the glory days as well. Yeah. I missed those days when the internet was a simpler place and time. Come sit on Grandpa's knee real quick and let me tell you a story about the war. You see, nowadays we've got the Sora and the Sora 2 and the AI content, which I've heavily involved myself in as well. But back in the earlier days, it was $1 versus $10 anything. The 1,000-degree knife challenge. Not no more, though. Mike, again, very special shout out to you, man. I appreciate you being here and still rocking with me all these years later. It's been a long and grueling ride. And I'm actually going to therapy now because of social media. I shit you not. Crazy to think how it's destroyed my life. I feel like Macaulay Culkin. Or Justin Biebs. He's full-fledged on the off the rails, I imagine. Diddy got caught drinking prison wine in prison. What is Diddy doing other than bidding? Diddy got to Fort Dix. I bet you that joint is as sweet as they come. Especially if you don't mind batting for the other team. If you're an ambidextrous in terms of the bedroom activities, playing with both hands, that shit got to be like a Carnival cruise for you. And they got wine here too. Part of Diddy's letter to the judge said that he needed treatment. He was snatching ass, if you ask me. Diddy got up in there and got drunk. This is the crazy thing. How did he get caught? That's another thing that I think about. Did somebody set him up? Hey, yo, Diddy. I got some of that mash, some of that pruno. You trying to get down? And then went and told on the man. I imagine they're keeping a pretty close eye on this dude. You would think, in certain cases, you could end up in protective custody being a celebrity status such as him. But nah, man, you saw the pictures that were released that were probably taken by a guard and sold to TMZ as well. Diddy was proverbially welcomed with open arms at Fort Dix. Hey, Diddy, let me spit something for you. I didn't say spit on it. Let me spit something for you. Listen to the track. Oh, we might do good over here because sometimes the crashing out could be hilarious. Yeah, man, can you imagine how many people Diddy's about to sign to Bad Boy Records from inside of Fort Dix? I mean, just imagine that's an American Express black card right there, right? Like that's the key to the city. Hey, yo, back shower, who got next? Hey, Tyrone got. Hey, no, Tyrone, let me get next. I give you a record deal when I go home. They're going to look out for Buddy up in there. But again, making a mockery of the system, the judicial system, it's supposed to rehabilitate, help you improve yourself. Not that anybody believes that it does that. But there's levels to this shit. There's things set in place. There's RDAP programs. So that you can shave time off of your sentence and get back out there to your family. If Diddy got drunk and got caught getting drunk immediately upon getting to prison, sounds to me like he's quite content where he's at. Oh shit, Diddy might have said the same thing that I did when I first got to prison. Stupidest thing I ever said in my life, but I'll share it with you. I'll never forget. Sitting on Mecklenburg, a now since torn down prison, back in the early 90s, 80s, 70s, back during that time, this place was gladiator school. You better have a knife, out of control type shit. When I got there, very first time going to prison, I think I got there in 2009, only in prison for 6 months off of an 18-month sentence. I spent 12 months in the jail waiting to go. I got to prison. I'm sitting there with my little motley crew. Me and a guy named Slick, old West Virginia dude. He had a homosexual cellmate that he was sharing roll-ups with. I thought it was diabolical smoking after that dude. I said, your lips might get pregnant. I better watch myself. We are on YouTube. This is not Twitch after all, where I don't care. But anyways, yeah, man, I was sitting there with Slick. We were smoking roll-ups together. We were young. We're watching some Spanish fella, young kid, getting walked around the track in his drawers for some kind of a flag on the play, some sort of an infraction involving his set. And the sun was setting in the background. It was a beautiful Bob Ross-like setting. And I said to Slick something absolutely stupid. I said, yo, if I would have known that prison was this sweet, I'd have been here a long time ago. Maybe Diddy said some dumbass shit like that himself, too. Sitting here drinking prison wine out of a shoe. Hey, Sandy, hello to you. Joe's, what's going on? You missed the earlier live stream, but I saw your comment, and now you're here. Thank you for being here. Around the Fur, what it do? Shout out to you. Dan, what's up? Appreciate everybody tuning in. Stuart says, I remember the Thanksgiving video with Josh and Shannon and everyone. That was probably the best collaboration video that could ever be had. It don't get no more real than that. And, you know, one of my many failures in the social media realm was my inability to collaborate. I didn't want to, wasn't feeling it. I thought that it was really phony and fake and fraudulent. I just didn't want to get down with no shit like that. I understand now, years later, that it's just a part of the business. It's only business, Georgie. But that Thanksgiving collaboration we did with Josh from Lockdown, and Shannon, and Josh brought his crew, and, you know, there was the APS crew, and Danny came riding through the front door on the moped like the Kool-Aid man. I might re-upload that for Thanksgiving this year. That shit was a banger, man. Stuart, appreciate you taking me down a trip down memory lane right there. Murph, what it do? Long time, brother. Billy McFly, what it do? Shout out to you, man. 13 months doing the bid with me. I'm doing well. Hope you are as well, too. Redskin Chris, 53 months. Redskin Chris done did the Fed bid with me. You doing that's a pound puppy, almost a dime piece right there. So, yeah, man, the story coming out, you know, I guess last week was that Diddy was caught drinking in prison. I don't know the source of this information. I know that I saw the story first shared on TMZ, and I thought to myself this, I'm like, if you go back and you think about Bill Cosby when he was serving time, O.J. Simpson when he was serving time, these headlines that would come out. Bill Cosby was a perfect example because I'll never forget this one particular headline that said Bill Cosby was attacked in the chow hall with a hot dog. Somebody threw a hot dog at Bill Cosby's head. That was a headline. That was a story. We even talked about it here on After Prison Show. We was drinking the Kool-Aid. You know, like, who comes up with this? Hey, look, it's a slow news day. Tell you what, let's say Diddy got caught drinking. Who's gonna be here to say that it didn't happen? The prison's not gonna make a statement on it. Maybe they should. You know, where did this information come from? Was it just made up? Do you think that Diddy really got drunk in prison? I mean, personally, I don't know what to think. Maybe. I'm leaning more toward yes. But it is plausible that it's just some made-up bullshit because people will believe anything. And you don't know what to believe these days because SOAR has made this shit incredibly crazy. I don't know if you guys, follow whatever I've been posting as of late, but I've began to drink the Kool-Aid myself, which is messing with these AI videos. And you can create yourself as an AI. I've began to do that, and I've given a few people access to be able to do. It is scary. Like how far along we are with that. And it's not going to be long before, hey, there ain't going to be no more sore watermarks. And you ain't going to know if it's real or not. You won't know if it's real or not. So, wild to think. Sandy said, did he pukes on the hooch? Did he? Did he get a little too shit-faced? Here's the other part to this. Again, how, if this is true, how? How do you know? Diddy's a lightweight now. He had been locked up 13 months before going to prison, so he's probably been locked up for what, like 15 months, 16 months now? Hey, yo, man, it just take one drink. They got that freaking potato liquor. They got the clear now. It ain't no freaking mash. They're making Everclear in these prisons now. So Diddy probably was a little too drunk. He might have had alcohol poisoning. It also reminds me of a video that I had to watch when I went to prison, and a lot of people probably had to watch this same Priya video, the Prison A Bathing Ape Elimination Act video. The video starts off with a Caucasian gentleman about my age, a little more heavy set than me. He kind of almost looked like me, to be honest. And he starts telling this horror story about how when he got to prison, somebody offered him some Pruno, spud juice. I'd never even heard that term. I remember getting to prison for the first time, watching this video, and I'm just like gripping the bottom of the chair, white knuckling this son of a bitch. He said, I got to prison, and somebody offered me a drink. Spud juice. God, I wish I could have zoomed in on that. He said, the next thing I know, I woke up and my ass hurt. I had to have a man to protect me on the yard. I'm watching this video and I'm like, yo. Buddy actually is letting somebody film him sharing this story. This is a VHS. This carbon footprint is never going to go away. Look, you're playing a dangerous game. You go get drunk up in prison. Can you imagine if Diddy's up in there holding somebody's pocket? That would be just insane. I don't think it's that diabolical, but yeah. So that was the first story that I wanted to share that I never got a chance to share because I've just been working my tail off as of late. Murph, shout out to you. Thank you for the kind words right there. I was nervous to do this live stream because I think back to the past of live streams before. The crashing out is fine and, carrying on and cutting up. Hopefully it comes across the right way. I know that it doesn't. But, nonetheless, I think you guys meet me in the middle with, I think Joe thinks he's funny, but, it's interesting to watch a grown-ass man, by the way, act this way sometimes. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing. That was the first story that I wanted to share that I didn't get a chance to share with you. There's another story that's coming out that just came out. I'm sure somebody has addressed this story. So you've probably heard another content creator, maybe Josh or Jay Williams has already talked about this. I would imagine one of them probably has. Yo, my state, the state of Virginia, Greensville. Did you guys hear about this story that just happened yesterday or the day before yesterday at Greensville Correctional Center? A level 3-4. Now, Greensville is the largest prison in the state of Virginia. Many people that I've featured here on After Prison Show served time there. A laundry list of people have. I think Jay Williams was there at one point as well, too. Maybe. I don't know if he was actually. Anyways, yesterday they just had a prisoner get killed there. Not sure if you've heard that story or not. Now, when you hear about a prisoner getting killed in a prison, it's almost, something that's not that surprising, right? You're like, oh, yeah, you know, it's prison for God's sakes. It's run of the mill, so to speak. I don't know much about this story, but there's enough that I do know that makes this very interesting. I want to find, there's a lot of news publications that are talking about this. Let me see one that I think might have more information on this. Yeah, let me do that real quick. There was also a riot, a small riot that just took place in California as well. I think that just happened yesterday. This happened on the day before yesterday. Inmate killed after apparent attack by cellmate at Greensville Correctional Center. Like I said, Greensville's the biggest state prison in the state of Virginia. I believe it houses 4,000 prisoners. This thing is massive. It is a small city. And I just had a new guy who was working with me for a very brief, like 2 days. He was working with me doing the construction work. It didn't work out, but turns out he had served time. He was at Greensville. He had just come home 2 years ago, and he said something to me that I didn't know. He said, Joe, do you know what the worst prison in the state of Virginia is right now? I can't remember what I said, maybe like Wallens Ridge or, Red Onion. And he was like, nah, it's Greensville. Greensville allegedly is out of freaking control. So again, when you hear about a prisoner getting killed in prison, it's not that, you hear about it. However, how this attack took place leaves a lot to question in relation to what exactly led up to all of this. So again, 2 days ago, inmate killed after apparent attack by cellmate at Greensville Correctional Center. Folks, this attack took place at 3 o'clock in the morning. Just hearing that, for me personally, is enough to almost make my skin crawl, to give me a little bit of goosebumps, right? Like, whew, that's scary. 3 o'clock in the morning, you're attacked by your cellmate and killed. Now, the story says that the guards came in. Obviously, they heard some commotion, a ruckus. I don't know, but the guards came in and saw the cellmate on top of the other cellmate, and that the other guy was unresponsive and then pronounced dead. So I'm, oh man, you want to make me pay for the story? This isn't OnlyFans, for God's sakes. I'm just trying to read a news story. Let me see if I can find this for free anywhere. You know what? Tell you what, let's watch a movie together. A little date night, a little Netflix and chill with your boy. Let's see if they share any more information, because I've got a lot of perspective on this that I want to share with you guys. Let me go ahead and pull up the old chat. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in, man. 230, man. 230 people up in here. You guys make me feel welcomed. I was worried about that. This is a wild, wild story. All right, cool. Got the chat right there. All right. Where are we gonna watch this at? How are we gonna watch? We're gonna watch it just like that. Yeah, bing bong. And then oh, you know what's gonna be crazy? I should just go find this on YouTube. Whew. I just got a text message that says your contract has been created. What kind of contract you talking about? All right, let's go ahead and get this thing playing, make sure that this is all good to go. We got the audio on. Yep, I got a feeling we're going to watch an ad real quick. Oh, no, we're not. Gosh almighty, that's your news reporter? What the world? Craig? All right, let's see what this story's hitting on.
Investigation is now underway following an alleged attack on 2 inmates at Greensville Correctional Center. The Virginia Department of Corrections says just after 3 this morning, an inmate was found unresponsive on top of their cellmate. That inmate later died at the hospital. So far, the victim has not been identified.
Whoa, pause, diddler. What did she just say? She said an inmate was found unresponsive on top of their cellmate? Lady, you better reword that statement because that shit leaves a lot to the imagination. One more time. I hope you guys can hear that okay.
Headlines at 3, a death investigation is now underway following an alleged attack between 2 inmates at Greensville Correctional Center. The Virginia Department of Corrections says just after 3 this morning, an inmate was found unresponsive on top of their cellmate. That inmate later died at the hospital. So far, the victim has not been identified.
Oh, God.
Each veteran.
Yeah, so you really misspoke right there. We get what you're trying to say. However, what you said made it sound like they were exhausted. They died of exhaustion. They was on the Peloton at 3 o'clock in the morning. Crazy to think. The Peloton? Oh, my God. Joe be dropping some jewels. So here's the deal. Not a lot of information. However, these are the facts that we have. This was an attack that took place at 3 o'clock in the morning. Some kind of a way, the guards got wind of this. Hey, yo, save him! Help! Get him off of me! Whoa, now, hold on. Maybe this wasn't a naked twister game they was playing up in the cell. What if the guy on the ground was working a ground game like a UFC fight? He put him in the figure 4, the small package or something, like he was choking him out. Could you imagine having to fight for your life at 3 o'clock in the morning? I don't even want to make any more jokes about this. I want to get to the serious nature of this. 3 o'clock in the morning. You got to fight for your life. Think about this. Let me paint a picture for you without using Sora for a moment. You remember that movie, Law Abiding Citizen, when he's eating the steak up in the cell and he invites his big-ass cell partner over? Hey, yo, you want some of this? You want some of this T-bone? And he takes that T-bone and he uses that thing and he bludgeons his cellmate. Just imagine the commotion. Was this an argument? Was this an ongoing feud? Did one guy try to get out of this cell previous? Is there a paper trail, request forms, emergency grievances? Yo, you got to get me up out of here. 3 o'clock in the morning, what is going on up in that cell? Hey, yo, is they twacked out? Is this the, what are they on these days, the K2? There's a lot of scenarios that come to mind when you hear something like this. Was this the smaller guy trying to handle this situation? It is the most uncomfortable thing in the world to be in prison, to be in a cell with somebody that you don't like and you know don't like you. To be in a cell with somebody you got beef with. There ain't nowhere to go. Was this a case of small man syndrome where Buddy waited till the middle of the night, crept up out of the bunk with a lock and a sock with some sort of a weapon and just tried to go to town? The other cellmate woke in to an attack? Have you ever been woken up getting attacked? I have, I've seen this, and I've been in a situation somewhat similar to this. I've definitely been in a cell where, me and my cellie ain't jiving. And one of us got to go. And I ended up getting up out of there. Hey, yo, you got to get me up out of here. And they didn't, take me out of the block. I was good in the block. I just couldn't deal with the cellmate. So that's probably the closest I've ever come to checking in. But Joe ain't never checked in because I'm a G. Harder than Wes Watson in this bitch. That was probably cringe. Forgive me for that. I guess he's pretty taboo these days. Yeah, so I also had a Spanish bunk partner, like a bunkie, where he didn't like me because we were cool, but I said something to another guy that was part of the Spanish community there, and some kind of a way I ended up with beef with my my bunkie, and then we did end up in a cell together. I forgot about that. We was in an open dorm, and then we ended up in a cell together because they were painting the bunks. I mean, the most opportune time, like this couldn't happen at a better time for me. This was the worst case scenario. I'm already beefing with this guy who made a statement to me. He said, Guerrero, hey, listen to me. I don't want to have to kill you, man. And I knew he was serious even though we were only at a level 2 because he had chased the guy around the yard previous with a Zelda sword. I said, yeah, man, I don't want you to have to kill me neither, man. I'm a funny guy. But he didn't think that was funny. Whatever I said that offended the other guy. So, yeah, this could have been a situation where these two were beefing or whatever, or maybe one guy just snapped. I want to continue to paint this picture for you. How does an altercation take place at 3 o'clock in the morning in a cell where one cell partner ends up getting killed? Did both of these guys have life sentences, 20 years or better? Maybe one of them was short. Less than 5, less than 10. That's short at a place where you got other dudes who ain't going home at. But what if this was a case of some snoring? Time and time again, you've been telling this dude to roll over. Hey, man, wake up, stop snoring. You've been dealing with this shit for 5 years. Y'all been on the same spread, in the same cell. You know, the authorities ain't trying to do nothing about it. They ain't moved you. You've been trying to get up out of the cell. Your cellie just won't stop snoring until you killed him. Could have been something like that. Or what if Buddy farted? And that's all that it took was just one pass of the gas when you ain't put your ass to the glass. And, you know, that shit stunk. And then you denied that it was you. That shit was silent and deadly. No pun intended. Because that's exactly what happened. You got killed behind that flatulence. I don't know if you guys know or not, but I'm actually doing spoken word at Starbucks. That's why I've become so like a fucking Scrabble board when you listen to me talk nowadays. I'm a theologist. I think that's religion, right? I'm a thesaurus. I'm a Tyrannosaurus thesaurus Rex. Some shit. Can you imagine like, hey, yo, shoo, man, it was crazy in here last night. Buddy got murked because he shit himself. And you can't say R.I.P. to the victim and Joe, somebody died. Like, you can't. It's a prison situation. You don't even know what the cellmate did. He could have been exposed for bad paperwork. Buddy could have been, you know, on one of them Schindler's List that you don't never want to find yourself on. That reminds me of another time when I was at band camp. Did I ever tell you all the story about the blacklist? I remember I titled it The Blacklist, and it got this nickname, The Blacklist. Like, not black person per se, but like just the dark, sinister list that was found in a counselor's office on a desk and seen by a prisoner who came back and told everybody all the names that were seen on this list. Now, to be fair, supposedly, because now when I think about this 10 years later, I've shared this story 10 years ago. When I tell this story nowadays, it seems far more, you know, this doesn't sound right, but this is how it went. This was the information, to the best of my knowledge, officer, of the blacklist when I was serving time at Indian Creek. So there was this list that was found on this counselor's desk. It said inmates or prisoners that need to register when they are released. And it had a whole list of people, and some of those guys were gang members. Some of those guys were some pretty serious players. So the guy that saw this list went around and started telling everybody, yo, hey, you know, B is on that list. D is on that list. D's nuts. You know, hey, C money, C murder. You know, E4, like all of these people that were on this list. So, you know, this spreads like wildfire. It spreads through inmate.com. Everybody's whispering about this. Hey, yo, man. Yo, B got to go home and register? What? That's crazy. So B, or whoever it was, matter of fact, I remember the guy's nickname. I'm not going to put that out there because I think he's actually still alive and well and free. And I don't want to, dig up this skeleton. Like I said, it sounds preposterous these days to think about it. But again, this is the story as I remember it, and this is what it was. So let's just say B. B actually was a high-ranking blood dude, ironically enough. He hears this, that, he's been named on this list, and supposedly he is on this list. And he uses his, his resources to pinpoint exactly who started this rumor. I don't remember how they, backtracked and went down the tail of the tape with this, doing an investigation. But anyways, they find out it was this, young little dude that we were locked up with that I thought was pretty cool. Anyway, they beat the dog shit out of this dude. And it happened just a couple of bunks away from mine. And this kid is screaming and hollering. Sad thing is he might even be watching this right now. But he is screaming and hollering and begging for mercy in this situation. And they beat the absolute dog shit out of him behind this. Turns out that list that he said he saw where people had to go home and register, allegedly it wasn't for the bad charges. It was they had to register these hands because they were so nice with them. But I've never even, is that even a thing? Yeah, when I go home, I got to register. Hey, yo, I'm nice with the wind up. Is that even a thing? You ain't no frickin' Nick Diaz. Who is you? I mean, unless you do have a track record of just mollywhopping the shit out of people, and that's what led you to prison, was just time and time again of pure T violence being dealt at the hands of your fist. I can see that being a thing, but who's to know? So again, to get back to this situation that took place at Greensville, 3 o'clock in the morning, one cellmate murders another cellmate. The news is painting a picture that makes you think this could be something totally crazy. I'm going to go a little deeper with this, just because that's what I do. Tag, longtime brother, what's going on? How is Richard doing? Richard's actually doing well, very well, as a matter of fact. Richard's doing really well. Shout out to Richard if he sees this or if he's watching this, but I do want to give him a shout out. Richard was a slippery slope, all right? This was a guy that started at that bad halfway house, got kicked out of there after doing the video with us. He was not one of them type of people. Ended up there like other unbeknownst people getting released and have nowhere to go. He wasn't the only one who didn't have those type of charges there. He gets kicked out. He's living in a crack shack motel. He's telling me one horror story after another. The last thing that I heard before Richard's situation really improved was that he was rooming with another guy who I assumed was probably, on drugs. I don't know. I'm just being stereotypical. Probably was a drug addict. He was sharing a room with that guy. Things were not going well. He ended up not sharing a room with that guy for some reason. A couple of days later, it didn't work out. And that guy allegedly stole all of Richard's clothes. What? And was like, Richard was trying to get his clothes back. He had to meet the guy at some freaking gas station to get his clothes. Like, I don't know. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, yo, man, this is just not going to go well, and this is sad. But then fast forward a couple of days later, and Richard's situation was like a freaking Bitcoin. That shit was down yesterday, but it's up today. Speaking in riddles or some shit. Yeah, so Richard actually found a room to rent through his boss. Shout out to his boss. I met his boss. His boss, a great guy. And you couldn't ask for nothing better. It's a a nice house. And Richard's doing good. So I'm working all week. I got 2 massive jobs going on right now. I'm hoping next week things are going to slow down a little bit for me. I'm going to get up with Richard. We're going to do some big updates, so that'll be cool, man. Prison Yard Gossip, shout out to you. It was to register for a substance abuse class. You never know, man. It could have been anything like that. I mean, Buddy was, leader of the freaking Bloods in there. So to hear that this guy was on some list that he had to go home and register, yeah. And, watching this young kid get his ass kicked, he's actually very successful in life now. He's got a great life after prison, the kid that got his ass whooped. It was sad. But, hey, you do some shit like that. You put some information out like that, and if that information is not correct, you're going to wear whatever comes from it. Philip, my God, long time. I haven't seen you since December of 2021, wasn't it? I'm kidding. It's been a long time, though. Forgive me. TH, what's going on? Love your stuff. Much love from Texas. After Prison Show Gaming Channel win. The only gaming I'm doing right now is Bubble Slots, Firelink, Video Roulette. I'm sorry to let you guys down, but I've become a gambling junkie. I'm getting ready to start a gambling channel or gambling content probably over on Joe Does Stuff. People keep telling me don't do it. I understand it's a very slippery slope. I try to do it recreationally like crack cocaine. And for right now, it's working. So not the crack, but the gambling part. I don't mean to make any jokes about the drugs. Dan says possibly welding registry. It could have been anything, man. But again, to get back to the situation that took place at Greensville, crazy to think. And no idea what really happened there. But I'll tell you like this. Somebody knows. And you might find out from a source better than me, maybe a Jay Williams or somebody else, Josh from Lockdown. They'll probably get the information. Because all it's going to take is somebody on the inside to say what really went down. Forget what the news talking about. I'd be interested to know what the hell leads to you getting murdered in prison at 3 o'clock in the morning. What did you do? Could you imagine if it was something that you didn't do? Your cellmate just snapped. What if y'all was in a relationship and you tried to break it off? Hey, look, Tyrone, I'm tired of this shit. Oh, my God, it could have been anything, man. It could have been anything. Hey, man, shout out to you guys for being up in here. Yeah. I titled this thing, I'm nervous to do this live. What did I title this? God, that sounds so freaking weird. I'm nervous about this. Please don't let this flop. Oh, my God, that shit sounds like some back shower shit. Listen, I don't normally do these live streams, especially as of late over here on the YouTube side, because I am very nervous about how they perform and come across. But it is important for me to be able to do these live streams, and I need to because I'm not able to do the video content right this second as much as I want to. Now, over on my other channel, shameless plug, Joe Does Stuff, there's a hell of a lot more content over there because I'm out in the field. I'm vlogging what's going on. I'm getting ready to share a video over there, which is probably going to paint me out as a horrible boss for an incident that took place Monday. Maybe I was overreacting. I'm going to let the world be the judge. Hopefully I won't end up on that terrible boss's Reddit subreddit like I did before. But even over there, I'm live streaming a little bit more because I need to be on the job. What took place Monday let me know, Joe, you cannot be out there on the job. And tomorrow, share this with you. I just, oh God, I can't take that. And I need to take that. Damn. Did they try to call me yesterday? Oh my God, I don't want to answer this call. Hold tight 1 second. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Hi, this is Bernard calling you from United Client Solutions.
United what?
United Client Solutions.
Flying Solutions.
Client Solutions. Yeah, the reason of my call today, as I can see in our record, you still have an outstanding balance on your credit card, and you make the money
Oh, my goodness. How do you know this? Holy shit. I thought he was trying to sell me a private jet. He wasn't saying United Flying Solutions. He was saying United Client Solutions. Son of a gun. I thought that was a work call. It's crazy because you don't even know what the spam calls are no more. Because they call you from local numbers. Listen, we got two really big jobs going on right this second in the construction world. I'll breeze through this real quick. I know this isn't where the content is for this channel. Yo, today I just had to go rent this massive freaking lift. I don't know if you guys were rocking with me years ago when I put up the Christmas lights using the lift at my house. This thing is like 3 times the size of that. And, hey, it's going to be crazy out there tomorrow. This is the wild thing. No matter where you go, I used to think that it was only like a Home Depot that would do this. They'll rent you any piece of equipment, and they'll just ask you, hey, do you know how to use it? Yeah. Yeah. Man, I went to a big store, like a big company, a big, rental company, and this is a big freaking piece of equipment, right? They didn't even ask me if I know how to use that because that's liability on their part, right? If it happens, it's on you. But they asked me, they were like, hey, do you want a refresher on how to use this? I was like, hell yeah, I do. I got no freaking idea what I'm doing. It's going to be crazy. Trying to drive this freaking, it's a 60-foot lift. A 60-foot. This thing is big as God bless it. But we need it. We really do need it because we got some freaking tall work that we're doing. And anyway, so that'll be over there. That's not for here. Just wanted to share that with you because today was just a crazy day trying to get all of that set up. And you're probably wondering, Joe, what are you doing? If you got all this work going on, why are you not working? Trust me, I am working. And I was on the job today, but there's not a lot for me to be able to do because I had to go get all these materials. Tomorrow, I'll be out there kicking ass and taking names. When the real work is taking place, I'm out there. When the prep work or the cleanup takes place, I try to not be out there. But again, what happened on Monday let me know I probably shouldn't be missing a mark. Oh my God. That was the other big story that I just saw that I forgot about that I wanted to share with you. I don't want this to go. I don't care where this goes, actually. Folks, have you seen what they're saying in relation to, what's her name? The Maxwell lady that was wrapped up with the Epstein? I can't pronounce her first name. Ghislaine? What? I saw a story on the news about this, and then I started researching this. This is freaking crazy. She's sitting in prison right now, and she's in a prison down in Texas, a federal prison down in Texas, this Maxwell lady. The consigliere or whatever she was for Epstein. I guess she was the fixer or whatever. Yo, they're saying at this prison down in Texas where she's serving time at, which is supposed to be one of the sweetest prisons that there are, I guess, for women. Yo, she's getting preferential treatment. She's getting some outlandishly preferential treatment. Ghislaine, thank you. Fence smoker. My God. Ghislaine. I don't know why they hid that comment. Obviously, they know what jizz is. That's wild to think. Ghislaine. Whistleblower documents show Maxwell seeking commutation and receiving concierge-style treatment in prison. Why is you getting that? Listen, I learned a hard lesson in this social media game, a million of them, but one of them was don't never talk politics because everybody has their views. And I went down that slippery slope briefly, and, I do regret going down that slope. Not that it was, any kind of a huckleberry for me or anything like that, but it just ain't my place. I'm not the political guy. I've got some really crazy views politically that no sides would agree with, or maybe either side could agree with. And I just keep that to myself. But I can tell you this. I've got some really interesting views in relation to the government shutdown, which I'll keep to myself. And I've also got some really interesting views in relation to this particular story, talking about this woman who was wrapped up with that dude, who they still ain't released those things, released the tapes or released the files. Why is she getting the preferential treatment, though? What is really going on? Is the type of shit that you can't help but read between the lines to kind of see, right? I might get freaking wrapped up for this. Thad says, I can't wait to watch you verbally abuse Gene. Low-key gets me bricked up. Listen, I've learned from that experience, too. Not for Gene. I don't really do that. Him and I will have some back and forth, but you'll see. Oh, you'll see. Maybe I'm overreacting. What would you do? Hey, yo, why is this lady getting preferential treatment? Is it because she could have been a whistleblower her god darn self? Maybe. There's nothing else that makes sense in this situation if this is the truth. And who is the whistleblower? And what is their take in it? Like, what's at stake for them? We're not talking about an extra hot dog tray here, man. We're talking about being in federal prison and being able to, oh, shit. Shout out to you, Fisher. And being able, I'm going to read that in just a second. And being able to do things such as use a computer that's unmonitored, like internet access unmonitored. Who are you communicating with? All right, real quick, what they're saying. They transferred this lady from Tallahassee, Florida to Texas because an employee was complaining, saying, quote unquote, we are sick of having to be Maxwell's biatch. Whoa. She must have been getting preferential treatment there as well, too. She got a 20-year prison sentence for her role as a co-conspirator with Epstein International PEX extending ring. And she was sentenced in 2021. Listen, I don't need all the details of the case. I want to hear the preferential treatment. Because all I remember was the unmonitored phone and internet access. All right, where is what they were saying? I must have missed it. Okay, Maxwell was also taken by escorts to the prison gym outside of normal hours. That's weird. Allowing her to work out alone. What? They also allege that she was allowed to enjoy recreational time in staff-only areas. Yo, somebody is coming to see her. They're talking about something. She's also receiving customized meals that are being personally delivered to her cell. Why are they giving her this? Let me ADD real quick. Fisher, shout out to you for the dono right there. Really appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me company while I sling paint at work. Shout out to you for painting, man. One of my favorite things to do. My cousin is in prison on bad charges, but there were multiple Brady violations. Only recently revealed there was a DNA test that was negative, trying for a new trial. That's crazy. Kind of sounding like possibly your cousin is locked up on charges maybe they didn't do. Couldn't even imagine. Hope that's the case, and hopefully they're not really in there on those bad charges for something that they did do. And if they are locked up on something they didn't do, something as bad as that, damn, I hope they get that new trial and that evidence gets them up out of there. Tag says, how did you meet Gene? Name definitely misspelled. I met Gene 3 years ago looking for helpers and workers with the painting business. It was crazy because when Gene was first supposed to start, I went and I met him, and we had a great conversation. I told him I was going to make him a crew leader, project manager. I mean, he was in super high hopes and spirits, and definitely a lot more with it back then than he is now. But he's been through a lot of things. He's a hard-ass worker no matter what. Sometimes he's quite aloof, a dumbass, so to speak. And I'll tell him that as well, too. But he is a great dude, a guy that I greatly appreciate having. I do respect. But when he makes blunders, sometimes they're pretty big blunders. And today he does one of those as well. You'll be seeing about that. Dan says powerful people don't want her to talk. Sounds like it. I mean, this is freaking crazy. I'm actually quite sick of the way things have been going, just to be honest with you. All politics intended with this. You know, it's screwed up, man. Screwed up all the way around the board. Did the government shutdown end today? I thought that was a potential that could happen. I know that they were talking about that. Now, there was somebody who had made a comment from Maxwell's side saying that all of this talk about preferential treatment and seeking commutation is false. It's a false narrative that, politically is trying to be spun up. But who's to know? I wish that somebody would actually come out to be able to say whether or not these things are true, such as Diddy drinking and wine. Hey, I'm the warden of the prison, and that didn't happen. But even if the warden of the prison said that, would you believe it? Why would the warden admit that that really did happen? That would just make your facility look bad. We live in a day and age where you can't believe nothing. Believe half of what you hear and none of what you see, however that saying goes. Nowadays, don't believe nothing that you see, nothing that you hear. You got to go with your gut intuition on what you believe. Stoney says the shutdown is over. Not yet on the shutdown, Jamie says. Oh, they vote on it in 1 hour. I truly hope that this thing gets ended. I know that this is affecting everybody everywhere, all these government employees who aren't getting paid. I think that this is the most insane freaking situation whatsoever. And I hate this, man. I really do. Redskin Chris says she's going to end up like Epstein. Whew. It's a crazy time, crazy day and age that we're living in, man. They're also saying Diddy has a job in prison. I read one story that said that he was working in laundry, but then I saw another story. Where is this one saying? Yeah, this is TMZ saying that he was doing laundry, but I read another story that said he was doing something totally totally different. They've got Diddy's mugshot from prison looking old as all get out. Cold deal. Chris says, what happened to the prison video calls? I missed why they stopped. Well, one, I stopped doing the live streams and was going back to work, and then the phone got cut off that I was using to do that. And then, I don't know, I just lost interest in it. It was more hassle than it was worth. It was a real pain in the ass. I might start it up again. It's not like we can't do it. I know one of the girls that we were visiting with that was local actually got released, and it hit me up when she got, maybe a little while after she got released. We spoke briefly through message, and then I didn't hear anything more from her. I kind of really wanted to do an update with her. That would have probably done well. We lost contact with the best one, the most popular one, that Brandy chick. But that kind of blew up in our face, too. Like, there was a lot of rumors going around. Like, that might not have been as hunky-dory and as feel-good of a story as it was seeming to be with, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff going on. I think somebody actually wifed that chick up, too, though. So if there was a Cinderella story or a happy ending there, I think she did get wifed up. But there was also speculation that she was selling the contacts of the people who were helping her out. And that wasn't cool, man. That wasn't cool at all. Oh, D Money said Diddy got caught with a Nintendo DS stuffed up his ass. See, these are the stories that you can't believe, right? Like, there's just too much coming in. Diddy got caught with this. He's drinking, this and that. Who knows? He's at a sweet enough prison where all of these things are plausible, but ain't no freaking telling. Ain't no telling. All right, well, I really just wanted to jump on here and share about those two stories. Diddy with the wine drinking in prison, and also with the cellmate killing the other cellmate at the local prison in my state. And we even got a bonus one here, which was the Maxwell situation. Very interested to learn anything more that comes in relation to that. Will there be more? Or is it all smoke and mirrors like so many other things? Who the hell knows? I'm not saying that, she's not getting this preferential treatment. I lean more towards she is, but is any more information going to come out about it? The Diddy drinking could be smoke and mirrors, though, for certain. Redskin Chris says Chevy guy, wasn't that his name? I'm not sure. I think it was. Who the hell knows, man? I wish somebody would message me and be like, yeah, I married Brandy. We're happily ever after. That would be nice. Hey, look, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. I don't want to go on too long before it, starts to get a little watered down here. It was great, and it's great to be able to connect with you guys and talk with y'all. I appreciate so many people tuning into this. Listen, I'm still here. I started this live stream off where somebody literally first comment was like, you need to retire. I get it, okay? We're old news here, but the thing of it is I still enjoy this. If for nothing else, just to be able to have the camaraderie and to be able to kick it with you guys. I don't talk to nobody for real outside of my wife and my son and the guys that I work with. So to be able to kick it with y'all, it's a cool thing. I'm working my ass off, really trying to do the best that I can for my life, my wife, my son. And it means a lot to still be on here and to have you guys wanting to tune in and hear whatever we're talking about. I got content over on Joe Does Stuff. If you're interested in any of that, you can keep up with me there too. I'll be getting more stuff going on here, even if it's only these live streams for the time being until things slow down. But I got to work, and I got to be trying to do all things. So thank you all so much for taking the time. I promise to always keep it, as real as possibly humanly possible with you guys over here. Never was one for faking the funk. And I guess that goes back to that whole collaboration talk where I should have probably done more of that, but I didn't because I didn't think that it was, being genuine. Anyways, y'all have a great